Okay, I'm gonna wait for the yes from Olena, and then we'll start. Okay, so let's get it going. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. I'm Julia, I'm the program director at NUMA. I'm here with Guy, Ella, and Roman, and Dimitri. Dimitri represents iHUB, our partners for the program. Ella, Guy, and Roman were our alumni in past programs. I'm gonna introduce them in a second, and they're gonna share their experience with the NUMA program and can answer any of your questions as well. Let me share my screen. So welcome again, everyone. Just to give you some context on NUMA and our background, we started operations in around 20 years ago now in Paris. Today, we have accelerated over 650 startups, and since 2017, we have an office in New York that also does startup acceleration, specifically with the focus of expanding into the US market. These are some of our corporate clients. We work with them in France as well as in the US, and we do corporate innovation specifically. These are some of our 80+ NUMA alumni. We're gonna add your logos, guys, soon. We've been accelerated a lot of startups from all over the world. And we're starting our program next summer. And I'm gonna pass it off to Dimitri to explain a little bit more about iHUB.
Hi, Julia. Thanks a lot. Hi, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to be here tonight at this webinar. I'll just spend a couple of minutes talking about iHUB for those of you who haven't heard about iHUB before. iHUB is short for Innovation Hub, and we have 5 main areas of work. The first one and the most exciting one for me personally is acceleration of startups, and it's a great pleasure for iHUB to partner up with NUMA on this initiative. The second one is event production. We've done a lot of offline events, and now we're doing a lot of online events, just like this webinar, to help support Ukrainian startup ecosystem. The third and rather new one is Estonian e-residency. We are the official representative of the government of Estonia in Ukraine. And for those of you who have ambitions to enter the European market and the Eurozone, we're here to help with very simple solutions of actually running an Estonian company right from the comfort of your couch in Kiev or anywhere else in Ukraine. The fourth is in-house startups. We've started an amazing startup called Mindly. It's an online marketplace for online consultations with psychologists. And the last is co-working. We have 4 co-working locations across Ukraine and Moldova where we cater for all physical infrastructure needs for early stage tech startup companies. We couldn't have done it alone. We have a lot of amazing friends and partners, just to name a few, such tech accelerators as 500 Startups and Techstars. We're very grateful to partner up with the Ukrainian Startup Fund, and I want to thank them personally for the amazing work they've done over the last few years in helping build and grow Ukrainian startup ecosystem. Government of Estonia, UNESCO, such unicorns as Bolt, and a number of different European and American, United States in this case, countries that have from one point to another point supported various projects within the field of small business support and innovation. Thank you so much, Dimitri.
Thank you, Julie. Just to give you some more context about the program that we're running together, since you've been referred and selected by USF as startups, you get access, potential access to this acceleration program that's designed to cover every topic that you really need to know about, from starting your own business to marketing to sales and fundraising. The first, we have some regular activities during the program, such as weekly stand-up, where we have all the startups share a win, an ask, and a challenge for the rest of the cohort. That's a great chance to get to know your other cohort mates and share with them some of the wins that you have, but also some of the challenges. You also get to meet one-on-one with a mentor and a NUMA team member during this program. And there are some group events, such as the weekly lunch. Now we're all virtual, but that's another chance of bonding, as well as 1 o'clock, which is a short event with our mentors to, again, socialize and like network with the group. Then you'll have some workshops and events such as project management, fundraising, startup versus scale up, and design thinking. Those are fundamentals of setting up a business that we're gonna cover between weekend 1 and 4. And then a few events to get to know our network, such as the cohort kickoff and the internal demo day. During the second block of the program, so in the second month, we'll have workshops around startup valuation, sales assets, networking, pricing, how to build your MVP, and market research. And you'll get to meet some of the investors in our network through a VC breakfast event. And then the last part of the program, we're gonna really focus on scaling. And so you'll get to learn more about negotiation tactics, how to build your team, sales stack automation, how to close funding, and high value conversations. And we're gonna close everything up with a demo day where you get to present and pitch your solutions to potential partners, investors, as well as mentors in the NUMA program. These are some of the mentors that you'll get to meet with. They cover different topics, have very different backgrounds, and can help you grow your business. And this is our team. So you met with Dimitri already. I'm Julia. With me at NUMA, there's also Francis and Shai, and with Dimitri at iHUB, we have Vadim. And now enough about us. It's all about you eventually. And we have here representing the great value of the startups that are participating in our program. Roman and Guy are both at GeekUps, and Ella is representing Gemiti here today. Roma is the product owner at GeekUps. He's a strong tech specialist with experience managing high-tech startups. Guy is the CTO and founder at GeekUps. He's experienced in managing product development, but he also founded an R&D centers with hundreds of employees. And Ella is the VP of sales at Gamiti. She also is an entrepreneur. She started her own business at 16 and has a background in computer science, but is now running the sales efforts at Gamiti. Welcome everyone. And just to start off, I'd love for you to give a quick introduction of yourself and of the company that you're representing. And I'll start off with a woman first. So Ella, I'll pass it
Ladies first. Hi everyone, I'm Ella. Unfortunately, my Ukrainian is not great, but I hope my colleagues here will be able to help if needed. I'm based in Jerusalem, Israel, and like Julia mentioned, I come from computer science, but realized long ago that computers are not fun and people are. So I changed to sales, and everyone at NUMA knows, so I think it's important to keep pushing it, that I am highly addicted to hot chocolate. So that has not changed.
Great. Thank you so much, Ella. And Guy, would you mind going next?
Yeah, so hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Guy, I'm the CTO and co-founder of GeekUps. So my Ukrainian is a bit better, so I can say dobre večer. And I'm understanding a lot in Ukrainian, I'm also speak. So I'm from Israel. I was in the Israeli army for 3 years, leading the department there for international integrations. And after the army, I started GeekUps as my first startup. I moved to the Ukraine. I'm living today in Ukraine, in Lviv, over 5 years already. I have an R&D center here in the city that have around 300 developers. And we are working a lot with different startups. And GeekUps, it's one of the most successful startups that we developed in the past few years. And we are currently by NUMA expanding to the US. So this is a bit about us. I will let Roman to talk a bit more about the product.
Hey guys, my name is Roman. My Ukrainian is a bit better than mine. Тому я можу сказати добрий вечір. I'm product owner of the GeekUps. Actually, it's a unique product. We are helping SMBs across the world to digitalize their businesses in every aspect, and we're doing this for free. Recently, we signed a partnership with Google. We graduated from NUMA, and NUMA was very happy about us, Julia, especially Julia.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. I will translate any of your intent to the Guy or Ella, or you can ask directly me anything, and we're here to help.
Thank you, Roman. And I'm gonna go kind of reverse order, but I'll start from the Geek Apps teams first. What would you say is your biggest learning from the NUMA program?
So I will share with you the perspective of a co-founder. I assume that all of you here today in the webinar are founders of startups, and you probably understand how much it's difficult to be a founder of a startup. So the main thing from NUMA that I really want to share with you, it's the human interaction that NUMA will provide you. In the end, as a founder, you have a lot of things on your head, a lot of headaches. You need to organize your team. You need to work with your product team, with your designers, with your developers, with other people that are related to your startup. And the most important, it's also to find the right time for you as a founder to find how you continue to grow the business. And I can tell you that NUMA will support you in this aspect. They will provide you a lot of good mentors that are going to give you a lot of insights in the IT industry in general in the world, and especially in the US and also in other countries in Europe. And it will give you a lot of insights from inside how the industry is working and developing, and you will get a lot of knowledge. So for my side, the first thing that I will tell you about NUMA, it's just come with clean mind and try to receive all the information that you can from this amazing journey that you're going to have.
Thank you so much, Guy. And I don't know if Ella or Roman, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I can. I want to add from the sales perspective, actually. So I'm not a founder, and for me, the most important thing was to learn how to sell, maybe specifically to learn how to sell in the US. I know that I sound American, but I'm not. And it's a big gap in culture, which I think was important to understand, first of all, and then to learn how to tackle. I would probably say that the best learnings that I took from NUMA are very practical things. So I run my sales calls differently than I used to. The order of the things that I bring up in a sales call is different. The amount of cold reach, the length of a cold reach sequence that I reach out to the US is different than what I do to Europe. So there's a lot of very practical learning to take away. And I think I'm just going to add to what Guy said. If Guy briefly mentioned, take in as much as possible. I want to prepare you for this. There is much to take in. So I think when you sign up for the program, properly prepare your schedule, make time for all the learning that you're going to go through, make folders in your drive to make sure that you have a place that you put everything in, like come very, very ready to sponge up, because there is so much opportunity. And this happens while you're trying to run a startup. So you have to come very prepared for it to be able to take in as much as possible.
Yeah, I second that. It's very important that you guys take the time, and it's something that I'm sure that all of you also took the time to reflect on, because there's a lot to take in, but a lot to work on as well. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna start with Roman now to ask, what was your experience with the mentors?
Oh, it's beautiful. Especially NUMA got some team. It's called IRR. They will bring you one dedicated, very high skilled mentor, and be ready that after the first call, you will have around 20 tasks that you need to make done, and probably or sometimes they are mostly complex. So you need to do a lot of A/B testing. You need to do a lot of experiments with the design of your product, if it's IT product or etc. You need to do a lot of stuff. And one of the most core things about NUMA is that you need to react very, very fast.
Yeah, that's true. So that's Roman is talking about the EIR meeting that every week we have, and where you guys shared your challenges. Is there any other mentor tips or anything that you like to share from that perspective, Guy or Ella?
Yeah, I'll be happy to share with you guys. So in NUMA, you're going to meet a variant of different people, of mentors and people that are deeply involved in the IT industry in the US, and as I mentioned before, in other countries. beside to learn from their experience and what they are going to provide you from their perspective or from their life experience, they also can be very committed to you to help you to open new doors and to meet new potential partners, potential investors, or potential customers to your startup. So, for example, for us as GeekUps, we had one session with a mentor. Her name was Maybar Dorest, and she was the CMO at Cisco. And she helped us to find the clients from US, from California, to do some A/B testing with our product. So you never know who is the mentor in terms of not what he can just telling you, but which doors he can open you. So it's very important when you are sitting with them on the one-on-one meetings or in the general meetings with all of the rest of the startups, it will be very good if you can ask them a lot of questions that's related to your startup to try to understand how they can help you. Even after the meetings, to send them emails, to try to do follow-up on them. Don't forget that they are very busy people. Even those that are giving you 1 hour of their life, you know, for the to do some talk with you, it's not mean that they are dedicated for you 24/7. But if you are sending in emails and you're doing follow-ups appropriately, those people will be able to mentor you and help you with that. I will give you another example. We met a person named Grant. He was one of the mentors in the NUMA program. And from here to where, it's been out that he's very in high position in one of the US banks. And right now we as a GeekUps in process with him in a pilot in the US with this bank. So it's huge achievement for us. It's if you talk about valuation of what we get here, it can be evaluated by millions of dollars, just this type of partnership. So if you know to recognize the right mentor for you and you can take from each mentor what you need from your business aspect, it will benefit you a lot. Not all of the mentors going to be 100 fit, and not all of the mentors going to be 100, you know, productive with you or really interesting in your product. But those who are, please, I'm telling you and I'm advising you, do whatever you can to catch them and to use these doors, because it will open you a lot of business opportunities that you don't even can imagine.
Thank you, Guy.
Yeah, Julia, I'm just going to say one more thing really quick is that I think I started pointing at this. The mentors that you collect in NUMA, or the fact that you enter the, you know, for me, the fact that we've entered the NUMA ecosystem is not just limited for the time we were in the program. So, for example, last week, one of the mentors that helped me with pricing just contacted me on LinkedIn and asked me, how's the pricing going? Is it working out? Do you need a follow-up? Like, out of his own accord, just thought about us. And I have, I think, 3 mentors that I'm still in contact with from the program. And whenever I feel like there's something I'm missing, I can always hit up Julie and ask her, do you have anyone in your network that you can help with this? Or we're fundraising, you know, who can I inform that we're fundraising? So I think part of it is also the long-term partnership that you build both with the mentors and with the NUMA and I guess with iHUB as well.
Yeah, I absolutely, thank you guys for sharing that. That's a very, very important point. It's you did a beautiful job in following up and making sure that you get those relationships very warm, but it's a game of give and take. And so every mentor is happy to mentor. At the same time, you need to be always on top of all of the tasks that you need to do, be very punctual to meetings and things like that. That's also very respectful and important. That's great. I'd love to ask, what was one of the challenges that you had? And I'm gonna start from Ella this time.
I did not anticipate how much time it was going to take.
Okay.
I was not at all, like, I keep thinking, oh my God, I could have gotten even more out of it. So that was probably the biggest challenge. I'm going to go ahead and say another thing. There are some sessions that, and this is going to be the case in life always, there are some sessions that were a perfect fit. And then there were some sessions that I was like, well, I know half of this stuff. The thing is that you know half of the stuff, not the other half. And you have to stay patient through the stuff that you do know in order to learn the stuff that you don't. And I think that was something very important for me. Being Israeli, I always think that I know best. It was important for me to also once in a while, like, shut up and listen to someone who knows better than me. And I really think that was a teaching experience. In the beginning, it was a challenge, but once I noticed how much I was learning, it was easier to have patience for it.
Yeah, that's well said. Anything that you guys would like to add?
Sometimes you need to accept the things that mentor tell you, because when my bar came first to our platform, I came across it. She said, like in pretty words, it's a disaster. You need to change your body and everything. And we were like, we were creating this onboarding for like few months, and it should be perfect. Why? And she said, her work, not good. And sometimes you need to accept some stuff.
Yeah. Guy, what would you say was one challenge you had?
So I can tell you, first of all, I cannot call it a challenge. When you're working with NUMA, there's not a lot of challenges. What you have, it's adventure, and you need to be ready for adventure. Okay, it's like NUMA going to be your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your children for the next few months, and you need to understand that you need to invest. So if you like, your startup to be successful, and all of us as founders want our startup and our businesses to be very successful, and we're doing it or to promote our agenda or our idea, and we're doing startups because we recognize some issue in the market and we want to solve the issue. So this is all about what you are doing here. And if you're really dedicated to your idea and you really want your startup to be very successful, so you need to invest, and you need to invest your time, you need to invest your team time. If you are a solo in the startup, and you are, because a lot of startups, they are sometimes in pre-seed, seed environment, stage, and some startups are a bit more mature. With GeekUps, it was a bit more mature. We have a big team and a lot of people in the company, but it's not mean, even if you are 2 people startup, 1 person startup, you still need to find the right time to invest in that, and to understand that if you will not give 100% in this acceleration, so don't attend in the beginning, because it will be only your loss. So don't spend your time if you are not capable to fully dedicate it for that. I can tell you that before NUMA, we raised as a company around $3 million in a seed investment. After NUMA, our valuation grew a bit higher, not just because we did some dramatically changes or we gained more clients, also because they teach us how to estimate ourselves as a startup and how to approach investors and how to ask for money from the investors. And me and Julia here have sessions, like 2-hour session, 1-hour session about the pitch, how to pitch to the investors. And when you're pitching for US investors, it's not like to pitch for American investors, for European investors, or to pitch to local Ukrainian investors. It's totally different, and you need to timing everything. You need to exactly know how to show your plus and cons, and to be very on top of that. So if you're ready for, not for this challenge, but for this adventure, you will have 0 challenges. You're just going to enjoy from the process, and you need to invest in that.
Thank you so much, Guy. And yes, and like that's something that for this program specifically is going to be not only catered to the US, but like we're going to cover a lot of the aspects about startup valuation in general, and all the differences that Guy was mentioning. It's very important. The more you know upfront, the better you can get at doing that from the very beginning, from your first round. Great, guys. Thank you so much. One last question, and then I know that Ella, you have to jump, so I'm going to start from you. What is one piece of advice that you would give to these founders here today?
Start doing 0 inbox in your email. I started that system like a month and a half ago, and my life is so much better, and I'm getting so much more done. So if you want to hear more about it, feel free to talk to me, but also you could just Google it, 0 inbox, do it.
Thank you so much. And if you have any questions for Ella specifically, please feel free to drop them in the chat or in the Q&A section, and I'm gonna direct them to her, and she's happy to answer.
Happy to answer. Gotta jump to the next call. Thank you so much. Bye guys. Good to see everyone.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
Bye, Ella.
And I have the same questions for you guys. So what's one piece of advice you'd like to share with the founders here today?
Okay, so first of all, when you're joined to NUMA Acceleration Program, know what you want to achieve from the program. Okay, it's very important that you will plan very smart and to know what is your targets and where you want to be after the program. The program, it's a shortcut. It's a shortcut that should help you basically to move from point A to point B much more fast and to save you a lot of time on mistakes that you are going to do in any case, with the program or without the program. But you'll have enough and strong people that can help you and escort you through this process and to help you to make the minimum mistakes during this period of time. And 2 months is, for a startup, can be a lifetime. I can tell you that it's very intense. And if you're coming ready and prepared for that mentally, you will benefit from that a lot. And it will do a lot of things for your business and your startup. So my advice, just be prepared, come prepared and come fully invested to that.
Thank you. Anything you'd like to add, Roman?
There's the thing, product hunt. Just check it every day. Stay on top of the trends. That's I think, Guy, reveal anything you need to know about NUMA. I'm telling you everything you know about startup world. Just stay on top.
Thank you so much. And I'd love to make this as interactive as possible. So for now, we have one question from Vatsgen that's about the conditions for joining. And I'm happy to take that question specifically because this program is in partnership again with iHUB and with the USF. So the conditions to join the program are just to be accepted by us. And we had a round of calls this week, but I'm happy to schedule more calls. I'm going to follow up with all of you here today. And on the other hand, it's for you to fill in the application inside the portal that USF provided you with. And then once you are inside the portal and you get approved, you can select NUMA as an accelerator. And if there's a match between us and you, then you get the program. But we won't take any equity and there's no fee to pay. So it's entirely free. You just need to be selected and join, basically. Did that answer your question? Is it the chair here? If you guys have any other questions, that's your moment. You can feel free to drop them in the Q&A section or in the chat, and we're happy to answer.
Julia, maybe in the meantime, till we have more questions and we are waiting for additional questions. Guys, me and Roman are here in the Ukraine. We are from Lviv. So if someone wants, to chat in Ukrainian or want to meet to some coffee, or you are in the city or around here, feel free to contact us. We'll be very happy to explain to you more in any time that you just need it.
Yes. And then we got another question. Is EdTech interesting for you? That's from David. Yes, we're industry agnostic. So for example, Guy and Roman here, they are developing a solution that is a tech platform for any small business, but Gamiti is a very different solution. They're in the travel space. We had a few alumni that were also EdTech, and this program is really open to any type of industry. And maybe I have one question for you, Guy, that could be helpful for them as well, about the resources. What are some of the resources that you take the most advantage of in terms of even tools or Zoom or the community management? So what are some of the resources and the mentors that you think were the most helpful for you during the program?
So it's a good question. I will tell you something. Because we are working on the online sphere today, so it's much more easy to join all of the sessions. Just imagine that all of you right now need to be in New York and to be actual on ground to do all of that, and you don't have time to manage your startup, and you are far away from your teams and far away from home and family and friends. Here you have the opportunity to be part of huge ecosystem, to be part of a huge mentors, and do it only from your computer at home. So everything is working through online platforms. NUMA have a very organized structure. Everything will be organized in your calendars. You know exactly how to plan your schedule. 90% is accurate, so it means only 10% can be changed. with the mentor sessions and stuff like that. So most of the things you will know in advance of few months. So it's easy to plan according to that. In terms of the resource that you need to invest, so we are in Ukraine time zone right now. It's 6 p.m. in the evening. Most of your stuff together with NUMA will start only around this hour. So it will start around 4:35 Ukraine local time. And it's mean that you have the all morning and all day to prepare. And it's mean that you're going to work, let's say, a full working day at your startup from when you're starting to work 7, 8, 9 in the morning till 5 p.m. on your day job, let's say it like that, on your startup, and then start the second part of the day. It's like but it's not till too late. It can take up to 9, 10 p.m. in the evening. Sometimes if you have one-on-one or some training, it can be a little bit later till 11, 11:30. But for us as entrepreneur, it's totally fine. You know, if you are you're an entrepreneur and you have it in your blood and your soul, so you're willing to working for your startup 24/7 without to sleep, without to eat, skip coffee, skip dinner.
We're gonna let you eat, guys. So I promise. No, yes, that's very important. So you have the whole day to work on your own products, and then what we do is, as Guy said, it's typically in the late part of the afternoon, and we're gonna tentatively try to end everything by your 8 p.m. at the latest. And as of your program specifically, it's a little bit less intense than the one that Guy and Roman did, because you don't have sessions every day, but only a few sessions per week, which is going to allow you to have a little bit more extra time. And I have a question from Valerie about specifically partnership with automotive, the automotive industry. So we do have partners in the automotive industry in the US and also honestly in France, but in Europe, but the point of the program really is to prepare you to get to the point of having meetings. So we had a company that also did the program, that's also from the Ukraine, that was actually in the automotive space. They built an application that's called Lease Exchange to support different automotive players in exchanging leasing between individuals. So with them, we did a lot of they talked with a lot of automotive companies as well as with dealership companies. But the purpose of the program is to really make sure that you have the right value proposition, the right pitch, and the right presentations, and the right sales materials, and the right structure, because then you're able to scale not only with NUMA, but also on your own. Because the idea is then you can replicate the processes that you learn in your home market as well as in other markets. Because right now you're all based in the Ukraine, and if your expansion plan is the Ukraine first and Europe second, and perhaps other markets after that, that's totally fine. Those processes are the same everywhere. Not sure if that answered the question, Valerie. Hopefully it did.
What's a good thing about NUMA is that they could bring you partners from any industry you want. No matters, even if you're creating a new SpaceX, I believe that Julia could find someone who can help and who can push you forward.
Yes, but yes, very true. But also, as you guys mentioned, you need to do your homework, and so that's like the give and take of the program. We're happy to open network, and you're all gonna be onboarded on a platform that's called MetaPrize, where you get access to all of our networking in terms of mentors and investors, and that's forever. But before that, it's very important that you get prepared, and like even what Guy mentioned, that the partnership that is talking about with one of the mentors from the bank, they are with him preparing. So once that partnership is live and like everything works very well, we can replicate that at scale. But it's very important, and they're doing that right. The first test and the first iteration, it's something that you keep working on, and you make sure that everything is correct. Okay. Great. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to drop me an email. If you don't have questions, I'm gonna give you back some of the time for today. I know that's a little bit late already. So I'm gonna follow up with all of you. Thank you so much for joining. We'll send you the information also of our panelists. They volunteered to also support you on place. But feel free to ask us any questions, and hopefully we'll see you soon during the program. And thank you so much, Guy and Roman, for being with us today. It was
Thank you very
awesome to
much.
see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Good luck, guys.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Bye-bye. Have a great evening.